Hello guys, in this video we'll be learning about web scraping from beginner to advanced in Python. By the end of the video, we'll be scraping a live website using Python. So I want you to sit back, chillax, and let's start coding. Web scraping simply means automatically collecting data from websites. Instead of manually copying and pasting information like titles, prices, or reviews, we can write a small Python script that does it for us fast and efficient. Every website you see in your browser is built using HTML. Modern websites use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. What is HTML? It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML determines the structure and text in a website. If you display this on your VS Code, this is my VS Code and my VS Code now. If you display this on your VS Code, you will get a website displaying my website. Now let me just run it and show you. Right, this is it, my website. Hypertext is a piece of text that can link to other text in a website. Markup language is known as code. Anything we code is called a markup language. Now, how do we mark up in HTML? We use HTML tags. Now, there are a lot of HTML tags, but we will be talking about the most important one for web scraping. Our first tag is the heading tag. Now, this is what the heading element looks like. It starts with an opening tag here, and it ends with a closing tag. Now, this opening and closing tag are the same, but what makes them distinct is that the forward slash are the closing tag, and that is what makes it a closing tag. What goes on in between these two tags is the content of the HTML element. Now, in this case, we used a h1 tag, and what this tag contains is the hello world. Now, the entire tag is the elements. That includes the content as well as any opening or closing tag. So next time, I hope this makes it clear when you hear about tags and elements. Now, in the heading element, there are 6 tags, which are the h1, the h2, the h3, h4, h5, and h6. Note, there is no h7 tag. Anything lower than that will use a different type of tag. Now, everything from h1 to h6 is structured the same. It has an opening tag and a closing tag with a forward slash. Now, what does this look like? Now, let's run the code and see what these different tags with different headings will give us. Now, as you can see, we are getting different heading level with different sizes. So that is the work of the h1 to the h6 tags. They are used as heading elements for your website. There is an element called the paragraph element. This is what it looks like. Similar to the heading element, we have the opening tag and the closing tag with the forward slash. In between, we have the content of the paragraph. Now, there's also something called a HTML boilerplate. This is the structure of a HTML file. It looks like this. First of all, we're going to go into our VS Code and we're going to type an exclamation mark. Then we'll hit enter on our keyboard. Yes, this is the HTML boilerplate. Now, this shows the version of the HTML we're using. This is the shows the language we are using, which is English. You can change it to French or whatever, but this is English language. Then this is the head element, which contains the character sets, the characters we want to use for our script, and it contains the meta name and the title. This title document is going to be the name of the display on the bar when I run this program. Let me just show you. You can see it's showing documents here, and it's going to show documents here. This is what the title tag or the title element does. This is the complete title element. Then we have the heading, closing of the heading tag. Remember, I told you everything with a forward slash is a closing tag. Then this is now the body tag, or should I say the body element. Now, after the head element comes the body element. We use the majority of our time here writing our HTML code. Now, all our content goes in here, the text, the link, and the images, and so on. We can actually put a heading element here. So let's put a heading element. I'm going to say h1. Then we're going to say hello world. Now we can also put a list element here. Now what is a list element? A list element is something or is an element used for listing in HTML. Now let's write some code. Now I'm going to press enter. I'm going to call our element list, which is UL, which stands for unordered list. Then we're going to put the content of our list. We're going to hit enter once more. I want to bring our angle bracket and say LI, which stands for list. And our first list is going to be, let's say, milk. Create our second list, press enter again, call our LI. These are all list elements. We say eggs. Then we press enter and we say, let's say, LI, and this is going to be flour or flour. Yeah. So now the LI stands for list item. And here we have 3 list items, and each of them contains a piece of content, and they are all enclosed inside the unordered list, which is the UL. You can see the UL contains the list items, which is another element. Now, for any list to work, you must have a list item tag. So let's display it and see what happens. Yep, as you can see, we have hello world, which is the H1. Remember, this is the body. I told you most of our HTML script is going to be on the body element. This is our hello world, which is the H1, our list element, which is the unordered list. Now, there's something called a ordered list. As you can see, our unordered list is showing a bullet point. Now, if I change this unordered list to an ordered list, I'm just going to change this U to an O. Now let's run the code and see. Now it's showing you 1, 2, and 3. So that's the difference between an unordered list and an ordered list. Now, there's another element called the anchor element. It looks like this. It allows us to create hyperlinks in our code. There is an opening tag and a closing tag, but the element is not complete without a hyperlink. We need to add an attribute to the opening tag that looks something like this. If we run the code without an attribute, nothing happens. But when we add an attribute, it looks like this. Now let's add an attribute to our HTML script. Now let's go back to our VS Code. Now I'm going to press enter. Now I'm going to create my anchor tag. Then I'm going to create my hyperlink. My hyperlink is going to be the name of this my HTML file, which is html.html. Then I'm going to put in a text. We'll say this. Now let's run the code and see what happens. Yeah, as you can see, it's in the format of a link. So if you click this link, it's going to take us back to the same website. Click again, it's going to take us back to the same website that we are working on. So this is what the anchor tag does. It's used to store hyperlinks in our HTML script. Now, we have finished everything you need to know about HTML for web scraping, but there are still some elements that I have not yet mentioned. As you can see, they're just listed here. These are also important tags we use for web scraping. Now let's go to the CSS. I'll see you in the next video.